Any one of you remembers what this functional structure is? Let me show you the slide and then I think you'll remember. This one. Okay. So you see my slide?
Yes, sir.
So functional structure looks like this. So you see, when you are dividing the work into different functions based on their tasks, you organize or you differentiate or you divide the organizational work into specialized work groups. For example, if you have, like you see on the slide, there is one very specialized task that is called marketing. There is another specialized work that is sales, and another specialized work that is services. That is, for example. So when you have an organization and you divide the work of the organization into these special tasks, then we call it the functional structure. We divide the organizational task into different functions. I know. So when we have more functional units, then we say that it is very highly horizontally differentiated. But if you have very few number of divisions or units or departments, then we say that it is less horizontally differentiated. यहाँनिर चाहिँ functional यो हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि how the organization is structured भन्दाखेरि you first specialized division of work मा चाहिँ नि divide गर्नु पर्यो त्यसलाई हैन. And within marketing, then you have marketing people working for that special task, which is called the marketing. Then you have the people who work for sales, and you have the people who work for services. यस्तो गर्यो भने you are first dividing the organization into different functions, right? So even if you have multiple products, your organization को multiple products भयो भने पनि त्यो marketing, this marketing unit or this marketing sub-unit or marketing department, whatever you call it, this marketing department will look after the marketing of all the products that your organization deals with. Sales does the same thing, and services is also for all the products that you have. So this is how the organization is structured, and this is called the functional structure. Do you have any question on this? Any clarity you need?
No, sir.
Okay. Then now we move into this multi-divisional structure. So in multi-divisional structure, what we do is we first divide the organization based on products, for example. Okay. So there is one division. So you see on the slide, there is one division, which is electronics division. Then you have another division, which is home goods division. And there is another one, which is snacks division. So you first divide the organization into different divisions based on products that you produce. And for each of that product line, then you will have, again, different functions. So here, the marketing function will take care of marketing of electronics division only. If you look at the left side, then you have the sales team, which will look after only the electronics. And similarly, you have the services people who will look after only electronics. Similarly, for another division, you will have different functions, taking care or carrying out the activities, their special activities for that product line alone. And यसरी divide गर्यो भने we call it multi-divisional structure. So you now see the difference between functional structure and multi-divisional structure. I know. So another one is the geographical structure, where you first divide the organization on the basis of your geographic territory. Okay, so you will have one division which looks after, let's say, America. Then there is another division which looks after Europe and Middle East, Asian countries. And then there is another division which looks after Asia Pacific division. So you first divide the organization on the basis of geographic territory into different divisions. And for each division, again, you have all these specialized works done for those divisions. So it's very similar to the product, the multi-divisional जस्तै हो, but it is based on the you first decide how much territory each division will be taking care of. And for that division, then again, you will have the specialized teams working for that division, specialized units working for that division. And that is the geographical structure. Now, there is this one called the matrix structure, which is a little different from all those structures that we just went through. These structures are generally suitable for projects. Yes, it has got two. It's the mix of multi-divisional and functional structure. It's just the mix of two. That's why it's called a matrix structure, where you see there is so let's say एउटा कुनै प्रोजेक्ट छ भनौं हाइड्रो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी को एनईए को हैन एनईए को कुनै प्रोजेक्ट छ भने के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि then let's say this CEO is the CEO of NEA. Then you have these functions within NEA. In Nepal Electricity Authority, you have marketing, you have sales, you have services. Of this, engineering, function. So this is just a simple example. Kasari functions then again you see your row you will see 3 rows here, and each row is for different project. You different project you will have horizontally you will have marketing, sales and services working for this electronics division अथवा त्यो electronic project को लागि आउँछ. तर these people will come from यो NEA को office बाट चाहिँ marketing को आउँछ, sales को आउँछ, services को. So you from माथिबाट तल आइराको छ यिनीहरु हैन. यो चाहिँ नि NEA को staff, marketing staff, sales staff, service staff भनौं यो आउँछ, and these staff will work for this electronic division भनौं. यो कुनै organization को marketing, sales, services, they will be delegated or they will be deputed to work for this electronic. Similarly, your company ko marketing, sales, services, फेरि अर्को team जान्छ to take care of this अर्को division को लागि उनीहरु जान्छ. And then you will again have marketing, sales and services people working for this snacks division. You see, now what happens is, these marketing, for example, this marketing people will have, they are reporting to the project head. Your electronics division ko head lai pani yelle report garnu paryo, and at the same time he also has to report to the marketing head of that company. You see, it goes both ways. Is this clear? Is this structure clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Can you understand what is happening in this kind of a structure, as I explained? Hey, this is a little bit different from other structures. यो चाहिँ नि दुई किसिमको स्ट्रक्चर चाहिँ नि मिक्स भएको छ. अघि मल्टी डिभिजनल पनि भन्यौं हामीले and functional पनि भन्यौं. It's the mix of these two. It's a hybrid kind of structure that are there and mostly suitable for projects. And अब यो marketing चाहिँ नि electronics division को लागि काम गर्न आएको छ, but he is coming from this corporate, हैन? योबाट आएको छ भने he will have two bosses. See, he will also have to report to the marketing head of that company, and he is also required to report to the head of the electronics division. So here this unity of command हुनुपर्छ भन्ने principle छ नि, the principle of unity of command, where you cannot have two bosses. If you are being ordered by two superiors, then that is the most typical situation that you will be in, and the effectiveness that you would otherwise bring will not be there. So this sort of violates that principle of unity of command. So this is called the matrix structure. So you for structure, any question? Now you know the difference between the functional structure, multidivisional structure, geographic structure, and matrix structure.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then I'll move to another one. Now we will talk about authority. So when we say authority, authority is the legitimate power. Legitimate means you are lawfully or legally having the power to give orders, to make decisions. Okay, so authority भनेको चाहिँ नि it's your अख्तियार या अधिकार भन्छ नि. So that is the legitimate power that you have to give orders to your subordinates and also take decisions. Your power, your lawfully दिएको power लाई चाहिँ नि we call it authority. And there are two types of authority. One is called the line authority and another one is called the staff authority. Right? अब line authority र staff authority मा चाहिँ के फरक छ भन्दाखेरि line authority is like it's the relationship that exists between superior and subordinate. You can just look at the the vertical chain. The vertical chain, हामीले organization को vertical chain मा हेर्यौं भने what happens is the superior has the right to order his subordinate. हैन? So that kind of authority, which exists in the form of a straight line, and the superior gives order to subordinates, हो भने that is called the line authority. So in line authority, what happens is the superior will give orders to the subordinates, superiors will direct the subordinates, and superior will motivate the people to work, and the superior will supervise his subordinates. Okay? And when we talk about the line staff authority, then staff authority is the authority. It's not actually authority. The authority pani hoina. When we but they have got this role, certain role of advisory role haruncha. So let me give you an example of line authority bhaneko चाहिँ नि you see let me give you an example of college kai कुरा गरौँ न हैन. कलेजमा के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि then there are line main काम गर्ने organization को objective अनुसार काम गर्ने. There are faculty members, and then on top of that you have the head of department. Then over the head of department you will have let's say vice principal and vice principal banda mathi, then you have principal. So this is the scalar chain that you see, and the superior will motivate, direct, order the subordinates. Okay, so they have got this right to order the subordinates. But what happens is you also have certain staff. Your staff भनेको चाहिँ नि those people who are not part of this line, but they are actually advising or supporting that line laterally. है अब जस्तै लीगल कुराहरु आयो ल कुनै लीगल कुरा गर्नु पर्यो भने यो त्यो लाइनमा त्यो कोर लाइनमा चाहिँ नि हुँदैन उनीहरु बट दे आर सिटिङ आउटसाइड एन्ड गिभिङ एडभाइसेस टु दैट लाइन त्यो चाहिँ नि त्यस्तोलाई चाहिँ नि स्टाफ अथोरिटी भन्छ एक्चुअली दे डु नट ह्याभ दिस डिसिजन मेकिङ को चाहिँ नि उनीहरुसँग अथोरिटी चाहिँ हुँदैन but they have this advisory role जस्तै legal को भयो administration को भयो accounting को भयो so those are the staff authority who actually advise they have got this advisory role to support that line the core business लाई support गर्नको लागि जुन त्यो you know they are not part of this vertical line but they remain outside that vertical line but at the same time they have this advisory role to facilitate the smooth operation of the work the core work of the organization. I know so these are seen generally in large organizations and small organization it's only the line organization you will not have that you know board of directors you will not have legal section you will not have this separate accounting this section support it's just the line that you will have in a small organization you will not have these advisory units or in it's generally you will see those units in the large organizations so that is line and staff so you have to know line bhaneko chai ni त्यो workers या त्यो employees हो जसले चाहिँ नि त्यो organization को main काम गरिरा हुन्छ अघि भनेको जस्तै faculty को line चाहिँ नि त्यो कलेज को काम कोर काम को लागि गर्ने एउटा लाइन हुन्छ भने then you have administration then you have accounts then you have legal section to support that is the staff right now we'll talk about delegation of authority भनेको चाहिँ this is so weird like when I share the slide then I cannot what is happening I cannot see this screen when I share it's so okay so delegation of authority is you deliberately you intentionally pass on your authority or you transfer your authority to your subordinates okay you have certain authorities for example if I am a CEO or if I'm the general manager of a company then there are certain authorities that I have certain legitimate authorities to take certain decisions okay these are the decisions that I can take or these are the employees or the subordinates that I supervise भन्ने हुन्छ हैन त्यसो भइसकेपछि delegation of authority is I delegate certain authorities to my subordinates okay I do not take all the decisions some of the decisions I delegate or I transfer to the lower level if I do that that is called the delegation of authority in organizations it has to be done I know so all the our organization ma all the responsibility is of the CEO sabaiko responsibility चाहिँ CEO हुन्छ भने he does not do all the decision making jobs but what he does is he delegates his authority to his subordinates to take decisions to certain level and that is called the delegation of authority and delegation of authority is inevitable in organizations. You cannot just keep everything at the top. It happens only in very small organizations, the startup businesses, when you do not have too many employees and your organization is small, then you can still keep all the decision-making power at the top, and there is no delegation of authority. People are just, obeying the orders given by the top level. So there is no delegation of authority. But when the organization grows and it becomes larger, then you have to delegate the authorities to the people at the lower level. And it has also got some motivating effect on the people who work in the organization. If you do not delegate, if you keep all the power at the top or at the center, then the people who work at the bottom level, they are not motivated towards achieving the organization goal. So this actually is done because you cannot take all the workload as the CEO or as the head of the organization. You cannot take all the workload on yourself. That's why it's very important, or it just gets inevitable for the CEOs or the bosses or the top level managers to delegate work downward, to send or to transfer some of their power downward. And that is called the delegation of authority. And why authorities are delegated is let's discuss this. Why? I told you, there are workload kam huncha, or if you can think of some of the reasons why authorities are delegated downwards. What are the advantages we can get by delegating authorities to the people or to our subordinates? Let's discuss this. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7 of you. Now you understood what is delegation of authority, eh, Pukar?
I just came in, sir.
You understood the concept of...
No, sir.
No?
No, sir.
Did you say no?
Yes, sir.
Oh. And you're so proud to say that, I just entered into the class.
Sir, I know sir.
Okay, Tirtha, can you just share, what you understood by delegation of authority with Pukar? Pukar just entered the class. You can make him understand what it is. Tirtha.
Yes, sir, sure. I just joined like 5 minutes, maybe back. I even missed that point.
You also missed that. So Minav.
Yes, sir.
You also entered just now?
No,
because this thing is behaving very weird. I don't know, when I share the slide, I cannot see the screen. When I I don't understand. You share you part on there, and then so I miss that who is there and who is not there. So can you just share whatever you understood by delegation of authority with your friends who just entered into the class?
I think it's about the division of labor and decision making responsibility. So divide karne grow the individual. They have to report about to the leading a hierarchical system or organizational system. They have to report it to leader or the manager, right? So division of labor
that is organizing. That is the structuring of the organization, right? You organization organizing now you divide according to your plan. Then you divide the organization jobs into works, and that is called the division of work. Once you have done that, then you have to give responsibilities and authorities to the people to carry out that job, right?
हजुर सर
you arrange some sort of relationship between the units or the people who are working for the organizational goal achievement. Okay, so that
Yes.
is the relationship that you have, and that is the organizing. That is,
Yes.
if you do that, and that is actually you are organizing. Okay, so within organizing, we saw that, you know, when we organize, we can have you know, big vertical differentiation गरेर, we can have too many layers in between गर्न गर्यौं भने चाहिँ नि, that is the organizational structure, which is very tall structure, which is highly vertically differentiated हुन्छ. कुनै you see bureaucratic large organizations ma you have too many layers from bottom to top, हैन? And that is vertically differentiated, yeah, tall structure bhaन्छौं. But if you look at, you know, the private organizations and generally the, you know, smaller organizations, we do not see too many levels in between, right? So there are people who work underneath CEO, कुनै पनि level काम गर्ने र अनि CEO दुईटा मात्रै layer पनि हुन सक्छ भने, that is the flat structure and that is less vertically differentiated. एउटा हामीले vertical differentiation को कुरा गर्छौं structure मा. अर्को चाहिँ नि, we also talk about horizontal differentiation. Horizontal differentiation चाहिँ नि के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि, if you have too many differentiated units, subunits or divisions, हामी जति units हरु बढाएर we divide the work into very specialized works, and we have too many units and divisions or departments भयो भने, we call it a very highly horizontally differentiated organization. But if you can club together, कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ नि administration, finance, procurement or एउटै division बनाएर you tend to have lesser number of units हो भने, we are actually structuring the organization which is less horizontally differentiated. हामी यो चाहिँ नि structuring को कुरा गर्यो कस्तो हुन्छ भने, and within horizontal differentiation, we saw there are 4 types of organization structures. One is functional, another one is multi-divisional, third one is geographic, and the matrix structure that we saw, you know, how they are actually structured differently. Organizations and कसरी त्यो चारवटा हामीले horizontal differentiation मा हेर्यौं भने, now we are talking about authority. Authority is the legitimate power that one has in an organization to give orders to the subordinates and to take decision. यही हो authority भनेको. If you हामीसँग certain authorities are given to us when you are working in an organization, you have certain power given to you to take certain level of decisions and also to supervise and order the subordinates. I know.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, हजुरले slide share गरेर पढाउनु भयो भने चाहिँ अलि सजिलो हुन्छ होला.
No, I was just repeating the same thing which we just discussed. I know.
हजुर audio मात्र सुन्दाखेरि अलि full concentration नै नहुने के.
Okay, I'll show you the slides. पहिला discussion गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि, I just wanted to have a small discussion, then again we'll go back to the slides. है अब हामीले यो concept structuring को concept थोरै बुझिसकेपछि authority को कुरा आउँछ. Authority is the legitimate power that one has. त्यही भनिरहेको छु मैले हैन, legitimate power that one has to give orders to your subordinates and also to take decision. But what delegation of authority भनेको चाहिँ नि, now you have certain authorities, but out of those authorities that you have, you transfer some of your authorities to the level below you. You send those authorities to the down. Okay, मैले चाहिँ नि procurement को चाहिँ नि सबै मेरो authority हो procurement को, as a procurement manager. Then what I do is I delegate certain authorities downwards. Okay, 10 लाख रुपैयाँसम्मको procurement चाहिँ नि तिमी गर भनेर मैले म भन्दा मुनिको मान्छेलाई भन्छु भने, that is the delegation of authority. You pass on or you transfer certain authorities that you have to the people downwards, to the people who you actually supervise. हो भने, that is called the delegation of authority. है अब यहाँनिर चाहिँ नि मैले के गर्न खोजेको भन्दाखेरि त्यो डेलिगेसन अफ अथोरिटी गर्न पर्छ र किन गरिन्छ why authorities are delegated downwards मेरो बोसले मलाई सर्टेन अथोरिटी in my organization हैन मेरै अर्गनाइजेसनको मेरै एक्जाम्पल दिँदाखेरि मेरो डिपार्टमेन्टको डाइरेक्टर जनरल को नै अथोरिटी हुन्छ सबै यु आर द बॉस अफ दैट डिपार्टमेन्ट भनेपछि it's all your responsibility authority and responsibility is yours अब उसले के गर्छ भन्दाखेरि I'm director of one of the units अब उसले के गर्छ भन्दाखेरि ओके यतिसम्मको चाहिँ नि फर एक्जाम्पल I work in the department of industry हैन and I approve investments अब मलाई कसरी अथोरिटी दिइराको छ भने मेरो बोसले ओके सो द इन्भेस्टमेन्ट्स अप टु 50 crores हैन इन्भेस्टमेन्ट अप टु 50 crores यु अप्रुभ 25 करोड सम्मको चाहिँ नि तिमी आफैले डिसिजन गर भनेर मलाई दिइराको छ भने दैट इज द डेलिगेसन अफ अथोरिटी त्यो अथोरिटी सबै नै त्यो डाइरेक्टर जनरलको हो तर त्यसमध्ये चाहिँ नि यतिसम्म बिकज ही कैन नॉट टेक ऑल द लोड he will distribute the work downwards give the authorities downwards अब 25 करोड सम्मको चाहिँ नि इन्भेस्टमेन्ट चाहिँ नि यु अप्रुभ भनेर मलाई त्यो अथोरिटी पास गर्यो तल भने दैट इज द डेलिगेसन अफ अथोरिटी अनि 25 करोड भन्दा 25 करोड सम्म इन्भेस्ट आयो भने आई अप्रुभ and the investment is more than 25 crores then I send it to him for decision so that is the authority up to that 25 crore given to me is the delegation of authority done by the director general to me that is the passing order or transferring of his authority to me similarly I can also then delegate some of the authorities to my subordinates त्यसमा चाहिँ नि you यति काम चाहिँ नि you don't have to ask me if you want to ask for some of the documents then you just go through the file see if all the documents are there or not if any documents are missing then you can write letter to that concerned person without even asking me भनेर मैले फेरि उनीहरुलाई दिइरा हुन्छ कति कामहरु तिमीहरु आफै गर that is actually transferring of your legitimate authority to the people below you is called the delegation of authority. The concept is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is called the delegation of authority. Now, my question to you is, why is this authority delegated? किन गरिन्छ यो delegation of authority चाहिँ? What are the reasons? Why is the need there to delegate authority?
To divide the work.
Hmm?
To divide the work.
So एउटा चाहिँ अब यो यसरी डिभाइड गर्यो भने चाहिँ अब यो हरेक अब इन्डिभिजुअलहरुको अब उनीहरुको हरेक इम्प्लोइहरुको क्यापासिटी डेभलप गर्न सक्यो हैन उनीहरुलाई अर्गनाइजेसनमा भ्यालुएबल देखाउन सक्यो.
So you are also developing the employees, oh? You are also developing the capacity of employees by delegating authority. If you are not given any authority, then you will only obey the orders given to you by your superior, and you will not use your own capacity to solve the problem. But if you are given certain authority to do something, then you will use your creativity, you will use your innovative ideas, and you will try to solve that problem. And then in that way, what happens is we are also developing the capacity of the people. So delegation of authority will develop the capacity of the people. That's what you wanted to say, Puka, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that is one of the reasons to keep the people motivated, to make the people feel empowered. You delegate authority to the people. If you keep all the authorities to yourself, then the people, the lower level people will not be, motivated to work because they feel that they are not empowered. So when you feel that you are not empowered, you don't feel like working. Right? So that is one reason. Okay, any reason? What is the advantage of delegating authority to the lower level? Deepak. एउटा इम्प्लोइ डेभलपमेन्ट हुन्छ हैन, क्यापासिटी डेभलपमेन्ट हुन्छ इम्प्लोइजहरुको. That's what I said. One of the advantages of delegating authority. अरु के यसको फाइदा हुन्छ? Why do we actually delegate authority?
अर्को भने चाहिँ अब हायर लेभलहरुको अब अरु इम्पोर्टेन्ट काम हुन्छ नि त.
के हुन्छ?
अरु इम्पोर्टेन्ट कामहरु हुन्छ नि त हायर लेभलकै वाला. अनि यो सानोतिनो भनेको त अब त्यो दिराखेरि चाहिँ सजिलो हुन्छ के. भन्नुको मतलब अब डेली नै त्यो वर्क आइराछ भने त्यो वर्क हायर लेभलसम्म सोधिराख्दाखेरि हैन त्यो अलि काम बढिरा हुन्छ. त्यो पनि अलि रिड्युस हुन्छ. यस
के काम छिटो हुन्छ भन्न खोजे हो?
हजुर सर.
So if you delegate power or authority to the lower level, so one of the advantages of doing this is, the decision making is fast. I know. So if you do not delegate authority, and for every work it has to go to the top level management for decision, the work will be very slow, because you have to take the decision from top level always. So if the power is delegated to the lower level, then the decision making is fast. Then the work gets done faster. Okay, that is another advantage. Bipan.
Yes, sir.
Do you see any other advantage of delegating authority?
यसले चाहिँ efficiency, productivity र time management लाई चाहिँ improve गर्छ.
Productivity is increased, right?
Yes, sir.
So with delegation of authority and things get done very quickly, that slowness is eliminated. Means you are being more productive. Delegate authority, delegate गरिसकेपछि the productivity भनेको चाहिँ नि, with the same number of people, if your output is more, with the same resources, if your output is more, then that is called the productivity. So your productivity will increase if the power is delegated. Any one of you can think of any other advantage of delegating authority? Okay,
sir, employees बीचमा पनि एउटा internal communication र trust पनि बनाइराख्छ होला सायद. यदि राम्रोसँग authority यदि delegate गर्न सक्यो भने जुन हिसाबले फर्स्ट पोइन्ट हरेक पोइन्टले एकअर्कालाई सपोर्ट गर्छ, इन्टरलिङ्क भएको जस्तो हुन्छ. जस्तो फर्स्टमा पुगारले भने जस्तै एउटा वर्कमेनशिप डिभाइड गर्ने बित्तिकै उनीहरू बिचमा जुन एउटा ट्रस्टको पनि एउटा इन्भाइरोमेन्ट क्रिएट हुन्छ जस्तो फिल भयो मलाई चाहिँ हैन. कम्युनिकेसन
exactly. That is another advantage of delegating authority. When you delegate authority, then actually you are building trust in organization. If you do not delegate authority to the people below you, then what happens is there is lack of trust. Okay, my boss does not trust me, and that's why he wants to do everything by himself. So that that sense of trust is lost if you do not delegate and keep everything at the top. So the people, when there is no trust in the organization, then there is no working environment, or working climate is not that good when you have no trust among people who work in the organization. So अब मलाई चाहिँ नि if I have to like send everything to my boss for decision भयो भने then I will feel that okay my boss does not trust me and takes all the decision भनेपछि त्यो that feeling that kind of feeling is there. And when you have that kind of a feeling त्यो अनि त्यो human behavioral चिजहरु your psychological things that will come into play, and that will actually have very very negative impact on organization work. त्यो हुन जान्छ हैन. Similarly अनि अर्को एउटा advantage चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि particularly when you have कस्तो organizationsहरु कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि you have the boss or CEO who is a generalist हैन. उ एउटा generalist हुन्छ, maybe he is not that expert, कुनै expert नभइकन he is a generalist हुन सक्छ भने then there might be the people below him who are the experts हैन. त्यो expertsहरुलाई चाहिँ नि use गर्नको लागि पनि you have to delegate the authority, because you cannot make all those technical decisions. Being the CEO, you do not have that specialized expertism. कुनै expert अब भनौं न electricity या hydropower कै ministry भनौं हैन. You have all these engineers at the bottom and the माथि चाहिँ नि non-engineer boss हुन सक्छ. So you will delegate power to those experts so that you can utilize their expertise. Right? So in some cases you delegate authority for that reason. Now, looking at the other side of delegation of authority, what actually what are the barriers to delegation of authority? Why people or the top level management do not delegate authorities to the people below you? What are the barriers?
Lack of confidence.
Lack of confidence. Okay. The confidence, whose confidence?
Confidence सबै
Whose confidence?
superiors or subordinates.
Confidence of the subordinates. Or you mean incompetence of subordinates? Because if your subordinates are not competent, then you will not delegate authority to them. So if you see any incompetence in the subordinates, then there is no delegation of authority. Ainta?
Yes, sir.
अरु केले चाहिँ यो delegate गर्दैन? What actually makes the superiors reluctant to delegate the authorities?
So managerहरुको attitude-ले पनि फरक पर्छ होला नि.
जस्तै
अब म्यानेजरहरु अब अलिकति अब त्यो अब हुन्छ नि, अब अलिकति एटिट्युड भएको भएपछि अब इम्प्लोइसँग नराम्रो तरिकाले बिहेभ नगर्ने केसमा पनि अब फरक पर्छ होला कि जस्तो लाग्यो मलाई.
Manager, you're not very clear to me, Pukar.
हजुर सर. सो म्यानेजरहरुको एटिट्युडले गर्दाखेरि क्या
managers are those managers who want to be boss always.
हजुर सर. हजुर.
Okay, bossy people who actually want to keep everything with him, so that he would always keep the employees or the subordinates dominated.
हजुर सर. हजुर. हजुर.
Authoritative leaders हरु हुन्छ, autocratic or authoritative leaders हरु हुन्छ, जसले चाहिँ त्यस्तो पनि गर्न खोज्छ. If you delegate, then you think that you lose power.
हजुर सर
Okay, good. And what actually makes the managers or the top level people reluctant to delegate power or authority?
It may require more mentorship and time. It may require more mentorship and time. The time in which the manager can finish the work may be greater than the time for which he assigned the work to the worker, and the time they finish the work may be the more than the time the manager will finish that work.
Did you understand what he said?
Sir, managerले त्यो टाइम गर्ने जति टाइममा त्यो गर्न सक्छ नि हैन, त्यो मेन्टरशिप
हजुर, हजुर।
एउटा एम्प्लोइलाई गराउनलाई अझ बढी टाइम लाग्न सक्छ नि त।
डेलिगेट गर्यो भने
हजुर सर,
किन?
टाइम टु टाइममा मेन्टरशिप गर्नु पर्यो, यो काम यसरी गर्ने भन्नु पर्यो, त्यहाँबाट अलि टाइम लाग्ने भयो नि त।
ओके, त्यस्तो इनकम्पिटेन्स छ, त्यस्तो इनकम्पिटेन्स भयो भने द फर्स्ट पोइन्ट दैट वी डिस्कस्ड वाज इनकम्पिटेन्स अफ द सबऑर्डिनेट्स. इफ यू सी देयर इज नो कम्पिटेन्स इन द सबऑर्डिनेट्स, that is one reason that your boss will not delegate authority, हैन? But authority काम फास्ट हुनको लागि नै authority delegate चाहिँ गर्ने हो क्या, तर इनकम्पिटेन्स भयो भने चाहिँ गर्दैन। त्यही हो point कि अर्को you wanted to say something and we did not understand you?
सर, मैले भन्न खोजेको चाहिँ एउटा मेन्टरशिप चाहिन्छ नि त एउटा कुनै काम गर्नलाई, अनि त्यहाँबाट त्यो जति मेन्टरशिप र एउटा टाइम लाग्छ नि एउटा कुनै इम्प्लोइलाई एउटा काम गर भन्नलाई, त्यो काम इम्प्लोइले गर्ने भन्दा नि म्यानेजरले गर्न सक्ने टाइममा एकदमै फास्ट हुन सक्छ भन्न खोजेको क्या, म्यानेजरले त्यही काम गर्ने टाइम चाहिँ।
Because manager is more competent than the subordinate.
Yes sir.
Okay. So another reason that you do not delegate authority is when you do not have trust, right? When you do not trust your subordinates, that also makes you reluctant to delegate authority. Trust भएन भने पनि गरिँदैन, एउटा रिजन चाहिँ। एन्ड अर्को चाहिँ नि इट्स फियर। अर्को एउटा के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि टप लेभल म्यानेजर्स विल ह्याभ some sort of fear that the subordinates might misuse the authority. त्यो authority उलाई दिएको चाहिँ misuse गर्छ भन्ने एउटा डर हुन्छ, हैन? That fear also makes the managers reluctant or unwilling to delegate authority. Right? So these are the why a top level manager is required to delegate authority, and what are the reasons that they don't do that. We just had a discussion. Let's talk about the centralization or decentralization. That is another aspect of organization structure, right? You can have a centralized organization and you can have a decentralized organization. Let's look at the centralization and decentralization. Centralized organization structure and decentralized organization structure, right? So centralization. What does centralized organization mean is the authority, the power to order. The authority bhaneko the power to take decision or the power to order, हैन? यही त हो नि। So authority is centralized at the top level. So all the authorities are kept at the top level, not delegated. Decisions are made by the top level, and subordinates are there. The lower level people, they just implement or they just carry out the decisions made by the top level. So if you have that kind of a structure in your organization, then that is called the centralized organization structure. All the authorities are kept at the top, not delegated downwards. Okay, so that kind of structure is called the centralized structure. अब यसको advantages and disadvantages you see on the screen. What is the advantage of having centralized structure? So when you have a centralized structure, there is a clear chain of command. So everything has to go through that line from lower level to upper level to upper level, and it just gets done at the top level. So there is a clear chain of command, you will see. So chain is not broken anywhere if you are not decentralizing. Okay, the chain is clear from bottom to top, or from top to bottom, the order flows down. So that is, there is a clear chain of command who does what. But it's very clear when you have a centralized organization structure. And when you have the centralized structure and the top level managers, they take the decision. Top level managers, they have got the the vision. And they have got this long-term vision, and on the basis of their vision, decisions are taken. Okay, so they are very focused. So this is where we want to get to in these many years. And when you have this centralized structure, you are not having too many divisions. You are not having, for example, if you are decentralizing bank, bank decentralized garyo bhane chahi, you have so many branches, branches kholdina paryo, so that you have geographic branch गर्ने हो भने चाहिँ, then you have the new road branch, Baneshwar branch, Chabai branch, के भनेर चाहिँ खोल्नु पर्दाखेरि it just gets very costly. But if you keep everything centralized and have lesser number of divisions, then you will have less cost. And centralized structure ma चाहिँ नि implementation of decision is quick. Decision making takes long time, हैन? Centralized organization structure ma चाहिँ नि decision making को लागि चाहिँ नि time लाग्छ उसलाई, because it has to go all the way to the top. सबभन्दा माथिले नै decision गर्ने भएकोले चाहिँ decision गर्ने process चाहिँ नि it gets slow. But त्यो decision के implement गर्न पर्यो भने चाहिँ नि it gets implemented faster. That because it's top level who just takes the decision, and the lower level को चाहिँ त्यसलाई त्यो decision लाई खाली implement गर्ने मात्रै काम भएकोले चाहिँ त्यो implementation चाहिँ नि छिटो हुन्छ in centralized, because the direction comes from the top and it gets implemented at the lower level. And when you have a centralized system and all the decisions are taken at the top, then the quality of work is good, because it has to go through many layers, and the top level, always decision made by the top level भयो भने, the top level decisions are always better decisions, हैन? भयो भने then the quality of work is better in centralized organization structure. Now, talking about the disadvantages, then it's very bureaucratic. Centralized system is a bureaucratic system, हैन? Bureaucratic system भनेको, there are bureaucracy सम्झेको छ कसैले? Max Weber's bureaucracy theory सम्झेको छ? कसले सम्झेको छ ल भन त? bureaucracy, bureaucratic भनेको के?
त्यो के भन्छ के सर कस्तो भन्दाखेरि proper अथोरिटीले डिसिजन लिने जस्तो लाग्यो.
Max Weber's को bureaucracy कसलाई याद छ अलिकति भनौँ त, you know, who remembers?
To manage organization efficiently manage गर्ने त्यसको rule हो हैन सर?
Efficient, yeah, there will be too many rules and regulations, हैन?
हजुर.
Bureaucracy ko one of the features of bureaucracy is there are too many rules and regulations. Aru ke features haru yaad cha, I just want to, you know, take you back to see if you even remember or recall whatever we did in the past. Bureaucracy ko features.
Hierarchy structure.
Hierarchical. See, hierarchical. So you have layers.
Equality. Equality.
Equality.
हजुर.
Equality ta it's a bureaucracy ma aako cha ra yo equality. That is the 14 principles given by Henry Fayol.
Reward, performance reward.
Orko features, bureaucracy ko features तीन चार वटा के छ, I just wanted you to recall. Okay, just take 1 minute. I'll be back in 1 minute. है म यहाँ एउटा phone call take गर्छु. I take call and get back to you. Just think over the features of bureaucracy for a minute and I'll be back. है कसले भन्छ ल the features of the bureaucracy.
Performance reward.
Huh?
Performance reward.
Meaning?
Performance को आधारमा reward दिन्छ के अरे bureaucracy-मा.
Okay, if you perform, you will be rewarded. If you do not perform, you will be punished.
Not punished, but get minimum salary चाहिँ दिन्छ.
Okay.
Sure. Chain of command.
Chain of command, yes. So when you have hierarchy, then the chain of command is defined. You have a very clear chain of command. Here, bureaucracy ma chaini, there are rules and regulations, there is hierarchical structure, there is division of work, then there is impersonality huncha. It's all based on rules and regulations, and if you cannot have any personal it is some sort of impersonality is there in bureaucracy. It just follows rules and regulations and doesn't look at anything. I know. So there is no any preferences, any favoritism kind of thing or चाहिँ हुँदैन त्यसमा. And one of the very important features of bureaucracy is its merit-based selection. So whenever it's a bureaucracy, then it's merit-based selection also. These are the very important features of bureaucracy. I just wanted to recall what we did about 2-3-4 महिना अगाडिको कुरा भएर. I just wanted to also recall whatever you did earlier. The bureaucratic भनेको चाहिँ actually when we say bureaucratic, it is a slow process. Okay, bureaucracy it's the rules and regulations but चाहिँ नि हुनुपर्ने भएकोले है. So bureaucratic. Another disadvantage of centralization is the manager is overloaded with work. So if you do not delegate authorities downwards, if you do not get the subordinates take decisions and you take all the decisions on your own, the top level management will be overloaded with work. I know. So that's why there is this thing called overload huncha. Overload means the decision making process slow huncha. Slow bhaisकेपछि काम सबै नै ढिलो हुन्छ. And काम ढिलो हुनु भनेको नै one of the features of bureaucracy हो क्या त्यो लामो हुन जाने. So centralized system is the bureaucratic system. So all the disadvantages that you have in bureaucracy is the disadvantage of centralized system. Okay. Let's look at the decentralized one. Let me share. A decentralized it's the form of organizational structure where the top management delegates decision-making responsibilities and daily operations to middle and lower subordinates. I know you delegate garza. If the power is delegated, if the authority is delegated to the lower level subordinates, then that is called the decentralized structure. The top management can concentrate on taking major
This class
decisions.
will end in 10 minutes.
Okay, so the top level will make only those crucial and critical decisions. Rest are delegated downwards. Business organizations often feel the requirement of decentralization to continue efficiency in their operations. So decentralization is very important to bring about efficiency in your work. If you have this centralized, as we saw, there are many disadvantages of getting the work done slowly. When you have this centralized system, those things are actually eliminated by having the decentralized structure. All the disadvantages of having centralized structure gets eliminated when you actually have this decentralized structure, or when you delegate responsibilities and authorities to the people downwards. So if you look at the advantages, then when it's a decentralized structure, then the employees are motivated, their morale is high. Okay, so when you are, so just see, if you are working in an organization and you do not have any authority to take decision over, you feel very low. You feel very demotivated to work if you do not have any power, or if you do not have any authority, right? But if you have a decentralized structure, you have certain authorities, you have that empowerment, you are also motivated. Another advantage of decentralization is creativity and innovation is there. See, if you delegate authority downwards, then they can do their analysis, they can take the decisions. So that is where the creativity and innovation will come up. But if you are not given any authority, then you will not use your creativity at all, because you are only implementing the decision made by the top level over there. Then there is no question of creativity and innovation coming from the people who work at the lower level. I know. And decision making is quick. See, if you decentralize and if you delegate authority to the people at the lower level, then decision is very quick as compared to the centralized system where all the decisions are taken by the top level management. I know. And the communication system is efficient. When you have the decentralized system, then you do not have to communicate the things through a long chain. When the chain is shorter, then the communication is more efficient, because when you have a very long chain to pass on the communication or the message, then the message generally gets distorted when you have very long chain of communication. But when you have a very short chain, then the communication is more efficient. Okay, and the supervision is better in decentralized because it's a small unit, small division, and you have the span of control is not that wide. एउटा सानो structure बन्न जान्छ भने then the better supervision. If you keep everything centralized, less number of divisions हो भने त्यो top level management ले सबै control गर्न चाहिँ it's not possible. But if you have a decentralized system, then the supervision is also better. So it's more के भन्छ त्यसलाई it's a so it's a structure within structure भयो नि त. एउटा ठुलो structure बाट चाहिँ नि एउटा part चाहिँ नि झिकेको जस्तो एउटा हुन जान्छ के when you decentralize, and that smaller structures are generally very good at supervision as compared to very large structures. And the overloading of the managers is also relaxed, हैन? Managers, top level managers हरु त्यति burden हुँदैन when you have this decentralized structure. Looking at the मैले कसलाई आज काम दिएको थियो है, I gave work to somebody today to present. Who is that?
Sir, me. Honest try, sir. Honest try.
Anis. Okay.
Yes,
sir. I just forgot to make you present today. You'll do that.
अघि भर्खर अब लाइन गएर भर्खरै आएको छ, यो बिचमा फेरि लाइन गएर आएको के त्यही भएर मैले पनि गरेको छु.
Okay, no problem. You will do the presentation in the next class, right? It's still due. अब कसैले कहिले presentation गरेको छैन because now अब हामी सँग धेरै अब पछिको युनिटहरु छोटो छ and त्यो भित्रमा चाहिँ नि कसैले असाइनमेन्ट गर्न बाँकी छ भने let me know so that I assign you the job to you, and those are assignment marks पनि दिन पर्यो नि पछि हैन मैले. So just remind me if anybody has not done the presentation. So Anis will present in the next class. We have, I think, 3-4 minutes left. Let's talk about the disadvantages of decentralization. Decentralization को disadvantage भनेको difficulty in coordination. हैन? So when you have many divisions, many branches, then the coordination problem is there. So when you have decentralized system, it is also expensive. It's costly. हैन? Costly हुन्छ नि हुँदैन यार. Fears and incapability. So if you have the decentralized structures and if your branch manager or your division manager is not capable, then it will
This
take
class will end in 3 minutes.
it will take the organization to disaster. And decentralization is not suitable for small businesses. Whenever you have you are in a very initial stage of your organization life cycle, initial stage, generally the organizations are small and they are into very specialized jobs. Those specialized jobs small decentralization गर्न मिल्दैन, and at that time it is actually not disadvantageous. यो चाहिँ नि यो suitable हुँदैन के त्यो सबै organizationमा चाहिँ it cannot be done in all the organizations. If the organizations are small and they are limited to very specialized jobs, then centralization will obviously be the kind of organization structure in such kind of specialized job भएको organization. So these are the advantages. यो चाहिँ नि डिसेन्ट्रलाइज गर्दाखेरि यो फियर हुन्छ इनक्यापेबल भएको कारणले या चाहिँ नि मिसयुज अफ पावर भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि पनि यो चाहिँ नि एउटा इट्स अ डिसएडभान्टेज अफ ह्याभिङ अ डिसेन्ट्रलाइज स्ट्रक्चर. So in the next class, we will talk about a little bit about staffing, and then we will be done with organization structure. The mechanistic organic structure will be explained by Anisle गरिहाल्छ भनेपछि. Then in the next class, we'll continue with staffing, and then we'll proceed. Right? For today, I stop here. See you in the next class. Have a good day.
You too, sir.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Have a good day, sir. Bye-bye, sir.
Bye-bye.